Tonight, a million reasons to go fishing with the first barramundi of the $1 Million Fish competition caught. Farewell to a devoted father and colleague. Hundreds lined the streets to honour terror victim Curtis Cheng. The Prime Minister in New Zealand standing firm on tough new visa rules. And a time trial with a difference as the Solar Car Challenge heats up.
This is 9 News with Zara, Rattue.
Good evening. The $1 Million Fish competition has only been running for 17 days and already one lucky angler has reeled in a prized barramundi. Liam Hale was wetting a line in Darwin Harbour when he snagged the 56-centimetre keeper and returned home $10,000 richer, which means the $1 Million Fish is still out there. And a fund has been set up to help the Cheng family. Donations to the police legacy appeal can be made using the BSB 815 000, account number 276953. After 8 years on the run, police are closing in on Australia's most wanted father and son. The dangerous pair opened fire on officers near Wagga Wagga in New South Wales yesterday, triggering a massive manhunt involving heavily armed police. A sunny and warm day right across the Darwin region. Darwin reached a top of 33 degrees after an overnight low of 24. Temperatures soared to 38 out at Middle Point after an overnight low of 20. And I'll have a full forecast later in the bulletin. In the news ahead, the government's plan to increase tourist numbers coming from Asia. And special helpers get into the spirit of McHappy Day.
Tonight's news is proudly brought to you by Ridges Palmerston, now open. Book your function now at ridges.com. Ridges Palmerston, redefining top-end hospitality.
Tourist numbers to the top end are expected to grow following a lacklustre few years for the industry. A renewed interest from our Asian neighbours is helping fuel the growth, as Amy Colbert reports from Hong Kong.
It's one of the territory's biggest industries, but tourism in the top end has been doing it tough the past few years. Here in Hong Kong, a group from Darwin are meeting with industry experts from across the globe. They're here for the Hotel Industry Asia Pacific Conference, with the territory all too aware of how important Asia is in boosting our numbers once again.
After the break, violence intensifies in the West Bank. And spring racing in full swing, all the glitz and glamour from the Caulfield Cup. Animal activists have called for an end to live exports at rallies around the country. Agriculture Minister Barnaby Joyce came under fire for his response to claims sheep are being treated inhumanely and bundled into car boots in the Middle East.
Barnaby Joyce can make the wheels of government swing into action when it comes to Johnny Depp's dogs, yet when it comes to Australian companies that are doing the wrong thing, he turns a blind eye.
Any exporters found in breach of Australia's welfare export rules are liable for fines or can have their licence suspended. Darwin residents are no strangers to blackouts, but today it was Brisbane that was thrown into chaos when a major power outage left residents trapped in elevators in a number of high-rise buildings. Traffic lights stopped working, businesses were shut down and workers were forced to go home after a substation failed. With Creasy joins us now with sport, and Liz, a double blow for the Wallabies.
Yes, Zara, two of the Wallabies' most influential players have been ruled out ahead of the World Cup quarter-finals. We'll have the latest from London. And a New Zealand rider claims the Caulfield Cup does a second slice of heaven loom for his trainer.
This update brought to you by Holden's new top-of-the-range Colorado Z71. It's tough, scrubbed up.
Two of the Wallabies' most influential players have been ruled out of Monday morning's Rugby World Cup quarter-final. Israel Folau broke down at training due to an ongoing ankle injury, and David Pocock also pulled up lame with his ongoing calf problem. Mongolian Khan has firmed in betting for the Melbourne Cup after today's impressive victory at Caulfield. Gifted the perfect ride, the Kiwi stayer held off a late charge from English raider Trip to Paris to claim the $3 million race. New South Wales has eased into next weekend's Matador Cup final, crushing Queensland by 146 runs in Sydney. Nathan Lyons stepped up in the absence of spearhead Mitchell Starc, taking 4 wickets as the Bulls were bundled out in just the 40th over. Test skipper Steve Smith picked up a knee injury in his century stand and could be rested for tomorrow's match against Victoria. Former Fremantle tagger Ryan Crowley has revealed he hopes to extend his AFL career despite being delisted by the Dockers. The 31-year-old has engaged a manager to test the waters and believes his year-long doping ban could prove a blessing in disguise.
And I've got a point to prove, so I feel like that's a good combination.
Crowley played 188 games as chief antagonist for the Dockers. He filled in for James Courtney at Bathurst, and veteran Russell Ingall will be in the driver's seat again, this time for the Gold Coast 600. He's been called up to replace Chaz Mostert, who remains in hospital following a second surgery on his leg.
Hopefully I can instill a bit of knowledge both inside and outside the car as well. So it's going to be a great combination, you know, and luckily enough, Gold Coast is probably one of my favourite tracks that we visit.
The Gold Coast 600 begins next week. Honda rider Marc Marquez will start from pole in tomorrow's Australian MotoGP at Phillip Island after he dominated all 4 sessions today. The reigning world champion finished ahead of Italian Andrea Ioni and Spaniard Jorge Lorenzo. Championship leader Valentino Rossi was 7th quickest. Aussie Jack Miller will start from 15th. And Zara, that is all of today's sport.
Thanks, Liz. In the news ahead, the day's headlines. And Cate Blanchett, a hot contender for an Oscar for performances in 2 new blockbusters. A look back at our top stories now. One Darwin angler has had a fantastic day out on the water after reeling in one of the prized barramundi tagged in the $1 Million Fish competition. Liam Hale snagged a $10,000 barra in West Arm in the harbour, which means the $1 Million Beauty is still out there. Friends and family have stood alongside hundreds of members of the New South Wales Police Force to farewell terror victim Curtis Cheng. And the solar cars in the World Solar Challenge will head off from Darwin at 8:30 tomorrow morning, with pole positions decided at Hidden Valley today. She's Australia's darling of the stage and screen. Now Cate Blanchett has returned to Hollywood with her eyes firmly set on picking up another Oscar. Lamar Odom has reportedly opened his eyes and spoken to estranged wife Khloe Kardashian. The former basketball star has been in a Las Vegas hospital since Tuesday, when he was found unconscious at a brothel after collapsing from a drug overdose. Sources say Lamar is now off life support but has serious damage to his vital organs. This gorgeous baby white rhino has been finding her feet at San Diego Zoo. Little Kianya was born just 3 days ago, but it will be 3 years before she's as big as mum. The southern white rhino is considered a near-threatened species, with around 18,000 remaining in the wild. After the break, all the weather details.
Tonight's news is proudly brought to you by Ridges Palmerston, now open. Book your function now at ridges.com. Ridges Palmerston, redefining top-end hospitality.
A sunny and warm day in Darwin with a couple of scattered showers, but it's all clear on the Skycam at the moment, with the temperature dropping below 30. Temperatures reached 33 degrees today after an overnight low of 24. The relative humidity in the city was 60% at 9 a.m. 38 degrees the top temperature down the track. Taking a look at the interstate capitals tomorrow, showers expected for Sydney, Perth and Brisbane, fine for the remainder. A mostly sunny day here tomorrow. Temperatures to range between 24 and 35 degrees in Darwin. Palmerston will reach a top of 36. 38 further down the track. And looking ahead, the sunshine is set to stick around right through the week. Some light cloud expected on Friday, but still no sign of rain. And that's 9 News this Saturday. I'm Zara Rattue. From all of us here, good night.